What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Leafs Chatter. Feels like forever since I've made a video. I'm honestly sick and tired of the Olympics. like, I'm only looking forward to the hockey, which we will cover. But yeah, no, it's just I don't know. I just miss hockey. But I'm just making this video here. You better get used to this picture because you're going to be looking at it for a while because we have to go through it all. I would try not to take too much of your time, but we'll get into it now. So the Leafs, regardless, if we find a way to crawl ourselves back into the playoffs, we're gonna be sellers no matter what because we need to recoup some assets that we gave up last year. For example, the Carlo trade, which you got fleeced on, the Lawton trade, which I'm gonna be honest, I don't think it was as bad. But we gave up first round picks and we gave up Fraser Minton, Grabenkin, whatever. I can get over Grabenkin, but you know what I mean. So looking at it here, the guys that they're saying that we're probably going to move is going to most likely be a McMahon or a Lawton. I agree. I think it's going to come down to who's going to come at a lower number, like a lower cap hit, and pretty much who's open to signing a contract extension. I feel like Lawton, in my opinion, has a better shot of staying just because he's the type of player that I think we should keep. Not to say McMahon's not that type of player. It's just Lawton is just a glue guy. And I think your team gets better with a Lawton on it, in my personal opinion. Plus, you gave up too much for him. If you're gonna get rid of him and a team's only gonna offer you like a second, you don't do that. I think you'd be stupid if you did, in my opinion. So I don't know. Like that's what I have to say about Lawton. He's a great player, but I think unless you're getting a first for him, and then you can try and re-sign him in the off season, I wouldn't even bother getting rid of him if it's going to be a second round pick in return. But yeah, looking at OEL, I think an OEL trade is possible, even a Carlo one. But again, you're going to need first for both of them. If someone's going to offer you a second round pick and a prospect for Carlo, you don't take that. Minimum is a first. Same thing with OEL. This is as good as he's going to get. He's got term left. You let him go if someone offers you a first round pick. You just have to. This person didn't see that anyone would be strong suitors for Michelli. I disagree. I think a good half of the teams in the NHL would benefit. Maybe more than half of the teams in the NHL would benefit from a player like Michelli. He's playing good. He could play on like top pairing lines. So if you need a winger, you could use him. He's a playmaker. He's got a like. I'll be honest. He's not a fucking piece of shit type of player, but he's got a little bit of sandpaper to him. Like after I've been watching a few games when he's been back in the lineup, he's got a little bit more sandpaper. He kind of gets in there. He uses his body, which is nice. Even though he's not that big, he uses his body a little bit to get pucks. And just overall, the guy's a wizard with the puck. Like he can put the puck wherever he wants. Now, sometimes he could put it on the opposing player's stick, which sucks. But when his passes are crispy and he's on like a peeper, like a power play one or power play two, his passes are always to the tape. And he's got a pretty underrated shot. And he's 24 years old. So I do think that there are teams that'll give up a bit. Like I think you could honestly get from Nashville, and I've said this so many times. I feel like you can get a return for Michelli about like a Bunting. Like I feel like a team like that who wants to get younger would let go of a player of a Bunting type caliber to bring in Michelli. I honestly think that. Um, Now, again, um, I don't I don't think we're gonna get rid of all these players, but I feel like if you get good offers on them, you have to let them go. Another one is Benoit. I love Benoit. The guy freaking he throws his body at everything, but at the end of the day, like his value isn't gonna get any higher than what it is right now. So if a team's gonna offer you a pick for him, like a third, you take that and you run. That's just what you do. Like guys like Benoit are replaceable. Guys like Michelli are replaceable to some teams. Guys like McMahon, you could replace a McMahon. You actually can. You can. You could replace one. Scott Lawton's a little tougher to replace because he's a character guy and he's an overall guy that he drags you into scrums. He drags you into the game, and that's what he does with the Leafs. So I think we should keep him. But yeah, going into the next one, because I'm not making this long, we're gonna talk about Morgan Riley. Now, Morgan Riley got linked to the San Jose Sharks. I was gonna say Vancouver Canucks. That would have been amazing too. But he got linked to San Jose. The reason being is because San Jose doesn't have many defensemen after this year. Once this season's done, I'm pretty sure they have 3 or 4 UFAs, and they're all defensemen. So at that point, it's like they need to do something. Now, Morgan Riley, would he waive to go there? I don't know. The team's on the come up. They have a Macklin Celebrini who looks like he's an all-star player, like he's top tier, and they're building around him. They got a nice young forward group. Their decor, in my opinion, isn't that great, but they need to build on it, right? So if they re-sign like a Ferraro, they can potentially trade for a Morgan Riley, start beefing up the blue line. It's like that team's gonna be good. But anyways, that's just what they're saying. I don't know what would have to be done to get him there. I don't know what you get in return. I'm gonna assume it's got to be money coming out. Like they probably look at maybe getting rid of like an older guy, like a Barclay Goodrow or some shit. Like I don't know exactly what it would entail, but it would be someone with a higher cap hit for what they actually bring. In a sense, just like whatever a cap dump doesn't have to be a massive cap dump, but if you're paying a guy like let's say $4 or $5 million, and he's only performing like a 2.5 $3 million player, yeah, like that's a player that we'd probably have to get in return for him, or we might even have to give something up. Like we might have to throw something like a sweetener for them to take him, which I hope they don't. I hope we just take somebody back in, but we'll see what happens with that. But that would be crazy. A guy I don't know where he'd want to go. I'm assuming like Riley would want to waive to go to a team like Vancouver. If you do that, I can see us, offloading him, and then they would probably offload some cap from like a Jake DeBrusk. You know what I mean? So like Jake DeBrusk, I think makes like anywhere from $5 to $6 million or something like that. Um, but he's not playing like that type of caliber player, in my opinion. He had a really good year with Boston. He had a good playoffs. The guy's a wizard in the playoffs, and he's a leaf killer. So why wouldn't you bring him? But of course, when he comes here, he's gonna play like shit. But anyways, that's just saying that we get him. I think that that's what you would end up getting back for O'Reilly. You'd have to end up taking some cap back because they're not going to take Riley 7.5 million for free. Now there are teams that value him as an asset because of his offensive capabilities, but defensively he's garbage and he's a liability. Like you have to put him with a really good defensive defenseman, otherwise the line won't work. And we've clearly seen it. You have to put him with one of the best defensive defensemen in the league, as in Chris Tanev, just so he can stay afloat, which is horrible, awful. But we saw him play decent with like Carlo because Carlo's more of a defensive guy, and Carlo kind of helped him a little bit, especially a lot last year when we first got him. So like I can see them maybe putting him with like a Ferraro or something like that, like a guy who's a defensively sound D man. That's probably what you'd have to do. But again, I don't know what we'd get for him if we traded him to San Jose. Again, I'm assuming it's probably going to be like a cap dump on us as well. So, but we'll see what happens. But it looks like the Leafs are going to sell, but they're also going to add because they have to beef up for next year. They can't just sell and then have no players because the free agency market isn't going to be amazing this year. A lot of them are getting re-signed. So we'll have to see what happens. I mean, I know there's like J Rob, he's a big fish, but we'll see. I don't know what's going to happen. I think he's either going to re-sign with Dallas, or I can see him totally leaving and going to. I could honestly see him going to like a Boston, just a team that has been playing good this year, is showing some promise. Why wouldn't a team like Boston want to bring him in? Frig, you'd be playing with Pasta, they'd be lighting it up. Like a team like that. There's even Detroit. So I don't know exactly what's going to happen with him, but it's going to be interesting, that's for sure. But anyways, we'll see what the Leafs end up doing. I'm going to make videos once the men's team starts playing. And then I'll try posting as many videos as I can. Like if a game's shit, I'm probably not going to post it. But hopefully the boys play good and can bring home a gold. And yeah, so I'll see you in the next one. Can't wait for the Olympics to be over, honestly. I just want to get back to hockey. And yeah, that's it for this one, though, guys. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.